This is a video on creating a drop shadow. So in Classroom, we have the drop shadow tutorial. This is also going to include an outer glow. So go ahead and choose this little cat picture that I have, right click and save your image wherever it's convenient for you. Then we're going to go to Photopea and then you're going to open your image, or I'm sorry, we're going to create a new document. So go File, New. This is going to be in inches and we're going to do 5 by 7, 200 dpi, and then go ahead and name it last name drop shadow or whatever you want, it doesn't matter. Go ahead and click create. So then we're going to place our kitten image. So you can go File, Open and Place, or mine is actually in the downloads bar. So I'm just going to click and drag this onto my canvas. All right, switch to the move tool and we're going to make our kitten just a little bit smaller. So go ahead and hold down Shift, make it a little bit smaller, about that size, because we're going to do something later on, and then go ahead and center it on the page. By the way, you know it's centered when you have those red crosshairs appear on the screen. Okay, so we got our cat there, we're good. We are now going to add a shadow to make it look like there's some light source casting a shadow of this cat. So in your layers, go ahead and right click, rasterize your layer, and then down here underneath the layers bar, there is this EFF. This stands for effects. So go ahead and click that. There's all these options. You can play around with those later, but right now we're going to do the drop shadow. Now, usually whatever settings are on there will appear, sometimes not. What I've noticed about Photopea is if this blend mode says anything other than normal, sometimes it doesn't work. So go ahead and switch that to normal. And then if you want to, I want you to change the opacity to whatever you, I guess, like. So that's if you want it at 100%, or maybe I think I want it about there. The angle is where the light source is casting your shadow, so the direction of your shadow, so you can mess around with that. You can also manually change the numbers in here. And then the distance is how far away. Got the spread here, like the hardness of the edges. And you got the size. And then also noise, so if you want it really speckly like that. So get it how you want, and then once you have it the way you want, click OK. And then in the layers bar, you can see that it has the effects here. Click that arrow and you can see this little drop down list up here. And if you want to go back and fix anything, this is really nice. You can double click on drop shadow and you can fix anything that you would like. So maybe I'm like, okay, I want this a little bit farther away. Then you can click away. So you can always edit by pushing that little arrow pointing down and having that little drop down list up here. Okay, so then I'm going to show you an outer glow, which is very, very similar. So in our toolbar, we're going to go ahead and use the rectangle tool here. And we're actually not going to have a fill, so no fill. And then our stroke, I don't care what color you use, I'm just going to use black. And then I am going to change the line weight. So yours might be at 1. I'm going to go ahead and change mine to 8. All right, so that's the thickness of my line. So then we have the rectangle tool, click and drag. And actually, I don't know why that didn't make that thicker. Okay, so then we got our frame around our cat, and that's fine. And then I will sort of center that. It doesn't have to be perfect, it's just tutorial. So then we're going to right click and rasterize this layer. We're going to do the same thing, so go down to effects, but this time we're going to choose outer glow. Outer glow again is very similar, but with the drop shadow, so I can actually switch to a drop shadow. You can see that in here again. By the way, you can change the color of your drop shadow as well, but we're not using that right now. So outer glow, I could have both if I wanted, but I just have outer glow checked. Blend mode, normal. Opacity, maybe I want this a little bit lighter. Maybe I don't want any noise. And maybe I want to change the color of my outer glow to pink or yellow. Mess with all this stuff just like our drop shadow. Choosing what you like, what you don't like. And then once you have it how you want it, click OK. And that's all I'm going to have you do. So then again, if you wanted to edit any of this stuff, you can double click, fix what you need. And then you can also mess around if you want to with any of these other things. Once you're done, go ahead and file export as PNG or a JPEG, turn that into Google Classroom.